Gil Martin here. Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in depth videos on your Green Bay Packers. We have new episodes dropping every day, Monday through Friday. So hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, visit our website at thepackerspost.com for in depth articles on your Green Bay Packers. Today, we take a look at the failed move last season that had a negative ripple effect on the Packers' offensive line. The Packers tried to make significant changes to the offensive line last season, and that was supposed to improve the offense, but the changes that the team made did not work out as planned, and the offensive line as a unit failed to meet expectations. In fact, they took a big step back compared to their performance in 2024. Today, we examine the reasons why this happened as we analyze the failed move that had a negative ripple effect on the offensive line. And we also ask whether the team can improve for 2026. The plan was simple. Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, decided to make a change to the way he structured the offensive line. His goal was to have the line get bigger, stronger, and more physical to help improve the run blocking. Head coach Matt LaFleur has always emphasized the run. In fact, in 2024, when Jordan Love played through significant injuries almost all year, missed a few games along the way as well, Josh Jacobs became the focal point of the Packers offense. So with that in mind, the Packers made some moves over the offseason. Starting left guard Elgton Jenkins was moved to center. They let Josh Myers go in free agency. And then Gutekunst spent a lot of money in free agency to bring in free agent guard Aaron Banks to take over Jenkins' former spot in the lineup. And then you add a big physical offensive lineman in the second round of the draft in Anthony Belton. So the goal, get bigger, get stronger, and sort of change the makeup of the line. And that was the thought. It would open up more holes for Jacobs and the other runners and still do a good job of protecting Love, because despite their larger size, the guys they were bringing in were pretty agile and mobile, but things did not go as planned. What went wrong? Well, first of all, there was a Murphy's Law effect for the Packers offensive line in 2025. Almost everything that could have gone wrong kind of did. The initial catalyst that started things off on the wrong foot, though, was the disappointing play of Elgton Jenkins at center. Myers was average at best, and Jenkins was a Pro Bowl guard, but that excellent guard play did not translate to center, even though he played center in college. And part of the problem was likely related to the fact that Jenkins was injured for part of training camp and lost out on some valuable reps that would have helped him adjust to playing center. And look, centers have additional responsibilities as far as calling the signals and the protections for the offensive line, making more blocks on the second level, and Jenkins just did not get a chance to practice. Then injuries felled Aaron Banks, and as a result of his drop in play, even when he was healthy, well, Banks wasn't expected to necessarily be a better guard than Jenkins had been, but the idea was that Jenkins would be better than Myers, and Banks would come close enough to Jenkins that it would be an overall net gain. But Banks struggled with injuries. And yes, he played a little better late in the season when he was healthier, but he never really got on track. And then you have the fall off at left guard because Banks is struggling with injuries. That in turn hurt Rasheed Walker, the left tackle. In his first 2 years as a starter, Walker had help from Jenkins. And he knew Jenkins was so reliable that there was not going to be many times where he had to worry about the inside push. Well, unfortunately, with a banged up Banks out there were a lot of double moves and inside moves that Walker was getting beat by, especially early in the season, and that hurt his ability to play well. And then, just to make things worse, starting right tackle Zach Tom, who is graded out as the Packers' best offensive lineman in each of the last 3 seasons, he missed several games, struggled through injuries, and eventually was lost for the season in the loss to the Broncos. So the offensive line is still unsettled right now. Jenkins most likely going to be a cap casualty in the next week or so. He does not seem to be the answer at center. Walker likely departing via free agency, with Jordan Morgan he'll be the favorite to take over at left tackle, the former first-round pick, now entering his 3rd year. A healthy Banks, if he's healthy alone, he should be better at left guard. Anthony Belton did finish the season as the starting right guard, and he'll be the favorite in training camp. And then getting Zach Tom back and healthy again would upgrade the right tackle performance as compared to this year. Now, center is still a question mark. The Packers could decide to re-sign Sean Ryan, who took over at center after Jenkins was lost for the season with an injury. Wouldn't pay a lot of money for Ryan, but he could very well be a reliable, temporary or short-term starter, and then, play that Lucas Patrick role where he could be the primary backup at all 3 interior offensive line positions. I would look for the Packers to either select a center in the 2026 draft or add a moderately priced free agent to replace Ryan/Jenkins at that position. The poor offensive line play was definitely a big reason why the run game fell off in 2025. And it also led to a reduction in the pass protection and the effectiveness of the passing game. So the Packers need the offensive line to be better in 2026 if they hope to be able to make that Super Bowl run that everybody's talking about. Will they do it? Going to be interesting to see how the free agents are handled, how the draft is handled, if there are any trades made. But Brian Gutekunst certainly has his work cut out for him. Don't forget to visit our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on your Green Bay Packers. Here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Daily Packers Post. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And, of course, go Pack Go.